all the good time memories we have of you and me. We've got everything we need to breathe, so play back. It seems as if some force has taken control of my senses. It seems as if some force has taken control of my senses.
Now with everything we be needing to breathe, and the force is strong, and you would best believe that it feels so right and so good, and like they told me it would, and tonight we couldn't make it as it should be. Everything is heightened, you from taste and touch, and when I'm walking around I'm smiling your way too much, and it feels good now, but I want much more, cause I seen it in my dreams, and I've opened the door.
I've opened the door, and it feels just right, and it feels real good. This feeling's familiar, I think I've felt it before. I've seen it in my dreams. I've opened the door, and now I've opened the door. It seems as if some force has taken of my senses. It seems as if some force is taking control of my senses.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to give you a gorilla dose of Irishness there. And it's always a pleasure for me and my brother. My name's Mihal, or my friends call me Moley, and this is my brother.
My name's Owen.
And we have some new people joining the group as well too. We'd like to welcome you this evening. We can easily spot you, you see, because you have yet to be fully enthused and enwrapped by the Holy Spirit. But it's coming.
It's coming.
So, yeah.
Welcome. It's an honor to deepen the narrative of any platform, but especially a speaking platform with such theological suppositions and a real. Not even suppositions, aspirations. Actually, not even aspirations.
Full embodiments.
Full embodiments.
Indeed. Incarnations.
Incarnation. And we are here with our mother, Noreen, who is an author and a theologian and a singer, and we learnt most of our tricks from her.
Yeah. And it's extraordinary she used to travel around the world very regularly. When we were growing up as kids, and she travels very little now these days. Groups come to her, and so we lead groups every summer back home to Ireland to experience the soul and the soil of where we come from. So it's amazing to be able to bring her on tour with us and to share her with your beautiful listening spirit as well too. So, and for those of you who are new, you're not going to get to hear her sing this evening. You'll have to just imagine it.
Yeah.
And we're going to.
She's like an Irish Aretha Franklin or something.
That's about right. No, actually, Sinead O'Connor called her the Courtney Love of Irish traditional music. And if you don't know who Courtney Love is...
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. Noreen turned around and she goes, "Who's Courtney Love?" She's a huge Nirvana fan, so it's fine.
We will... what will we do now?
We'll keep going to go. Classy go.
Yeah. We might do it a cappella, I'd say, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure what else you got there, but send my signal. We'll keep the energy up,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What would we do? Take it easy.
Yeah,
why not? Teddy Bear's Picnic.
Yes.
What do you think?
That's a good one.
Okay.
We're going to hit you with the greatest Irish hit of all time.
Yeah, of which there are many.
Yeah, there are many. Written by a man called Jimmy Kennedy.
James Kennedy.
James Kennedy was the Paul McCartney of his day, back in Tin Pan Alley. And
yeah, indeed, to this day, Jimmy Kennedy has more number one hits than any other songwriter in history, but none of us know who he is, or very few. Anyone know who James Kennedy is? No. Anyway, you'll recognize the songs.
Yes. We were lucky enough to perform this very song with the Chieftains one time in Limerick, on the west coast of Ireland. And but many acts have performed with the Chieftains. It's probably not that special anymore.
I know. That's the joke That's the joke we tell in Irish traditional music. It's like, why did the chicken cross the road? To play with the Chieftains. But we can't.
Their legends are still on the go. Highly recommend. It's a great show.
Yeah. So our turn came, and so the question is, what song would you sing? Were you to sing with the Chieftains? And this was the one
This is the one, and we'll dedicate this to you for going out underneath the trees and playing hide and seek with your soul.
Indeed.
Our assistant Pat. Okay. Perfect.
If you go out in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go out in the woods today, you'd better go in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. Picnic time for teddy bears. The little teddy bears are having a lovely time today. See them and catch them unawares, and see them picnic on their holidays. See them gaily gad about. They love it to sing and shout and never have any cares. At 6 o'clock their mummies and daddies will take them home to bed, for their tired little teddy bears. Every teddy bear that's been good is sure of a treat today. There's lots of marvelous things to eat and wonderful games to play. Beneath the trees where nobody sees, they'll hide and seek as long as they please. For today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. Everybody now. Picnic time for teddy bears. The little teddy bears are having a lovely time today. See them catch them unawares, and see them picnic on their holidays. I see them gaily gad about. They love it to sing and shout and never have any cares. At 6 o'clock their mummies and daddies will take them home to bed, for their tired little teddy. Tired little teddy. Tired little teddy bear.
Grant is here. Is it Grant Cornwell? Well, you know, what would follow next from Teddy Bear's Picnic? Fittingly, the president of Rollins College, please, Grant Cornwell, please.
We'll head out there.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, good evening. I take it you've had a thoroughly enriching 2 days. Yes.
we thought he wasn't going to come, so we did.
I've spoken to a few of you around campus, and you've told me that it's been so full that you can't actually make sense of it all yet. That you're sort of reaching and stretching to put it in a place, and that is completely appropriate. And I can't tell you how proud I am to be to have Rollins College be the site of GladdeningLight. Because what I certainly hope you know and want you to know is that Rollins is a liberal arts college. And exactly. And what we believe, and what I believe deeply, is that the best education for this global century is a broad, probing education that asks each and every student to wrestle with the questions of science and religion in the same thought, to understand art and literature and history at the same time that they understand business and economics. And as you know, this mode of education, this style of education, is somewhat under critique, or America has somewhat lost faith in this mission, even at the same time that the rest of the world is discovering it. One of the things I do is I work with liberal arts colleges globally. I have partner institutions in Japan and France and Ghana. And the world has said, what is it about American higher education that has produced the American mindset over these generations? And what they have come to believe is actually it's the model of liberal education. And thank you, yeah. I know that everybody in this room understands that. And I hope that you will be champions of this model. But just to bring it back to GladdeningLight, it's why it's so completely appropriate that Gladdening Light is here at Rollins College. Because in the last 2 days, you have had a liberal education. You've been asked to think about science and art and religion in the same mind space. And so please know that there are 2,000 students doing the same thing here right now with you. So with that, I will turn it over to our fearless hobbled leader, Randy, and let's move on with it. So thank you very much.
Randy on wheels. Because we have come to know each other so well these last 3 days, and welcome to those of you who are getting full immersion for the first time tonight, I wanted to get into a little bit of a personal story, if you can bear with me, that I think has some bearing on what Ilya and Matthew have been teaching us. First, I want to thank Peg Cornwell and Grant Cornwell, our hosts, and Katrina Jenkins, if she's here. They are the lifeblood of Gladdening Light here on campus and have been so gracious to us. You know, the slogan for Rollins College in Latin is Fiat Lux. And Fiat Lux, as you Latin scholars know, is let there be light. So it aligns perfectly with the ancient Greek of Phos Hilaron, as I mentioned earlier, Gladdening Light. Now, I want to do a little exercise to get everybody kind of in the mood here, courtesy of Ilya and Beatrice Bruteau. I want you to turn to your neighbor and say these words: I am, may you be. I am, may you be. I never liked the word tolerance, and I think that's a better way to put it, okay? So thank you, Ilya, for that this morning. I have two board members I want to recognize here tonight. Kirk Squires, a member of our Board of Trustees, and Perry Neese. We have a national council of folks, and then a board of trustees, and then about 90 people who we call the radiators. And all you need to have as a radiator to qualify is just a passion for our mission. There's no financial component. So if you want to just approach me later and say, I'd like to be a radiator, you know, we may call on you to help out at future events. It's really fun. Also, I can't let this moment go by without thanking my right arm, my rock, my wife, Pat. She, as you know, is just, especially with me on one leg, she has been amazing this week and for an entire year leading up to Gladdening Light. So thank you, sweetheart. And some key volunteers: Sarah Powell, Lisa Brutel Grant, Linda Goddard, Sally Spencer, Patty Shaney, Harry Coverston, and our own Dave Matson here at Tiedtke Concert Hall. Thank you all. Okay, Matthew calls it compassion. You know, I'm going to just lean back on the word love because, it has been abused, but I do think that it's a divine word. And I grew up in a guilt-tinged, blood of the lamb sort of childhood in the Church of Christ. It's not the UCC, it's the Church of Christ. So when my grandmother gave me a copy of A Wrinkle in Time when I was 11 years old, I got to the end of that book and, just broke down. It was a piercing moment in my life. For those of you who know the story by Madeleine L'Engle, Meg is completely forlorn. The universe is fractured. There's no hope for the future. This being called it is controlling everything, and it has overtures of communism and lockstep sort of mentality. It was a very bleak picture painted toward the end of that book. Her little brother has been captivated by this force, this life force, and is cruel to her. And she realizes that she doesn't like him anymore. She doesn't care for her brother, Charles Wallace. But then she has this divine sort of wrinkle occur in her mind that she doesn't have to like him, but she can love him. And she wills herself to love Charles Wallace. And as many of you know, have read the book, when she does that, and she it's an act, it's a verb, she wills that love, everything melts away, and her brother comes out of his malaise, and they embrace, and they're back home instantly. They cross through a tesseract back to their father and their home, and it's just a glorious ending. So what this taught me as a child was the power of divine love. And it was just so counter to what I had been taught growing up. It was a real breakthrough. And then later, when Pat and I were going through a seminal moment in our marriage and life together, I was 38 years old, and we were involved in some small group work. And at about 1 a.m, we both were awake, and I said, "Are you awake?" "Yes." And we began to talk. And I said, I don't really understand a God that is omniscient, omnipresent, all-knowing. I'm not really getting it. And there was, how you have that moment of just intense quiet and stillness in the night. And I heard these two words, and they were really laid on my chest. And I actually turned to Pat and I said, "Did you hear that?" She said, "No, what do you mean?" I said, "Infinite love." Infinite love was just laid on my heart in an audible way at age 38. And for a moment, I got a glimpse of a God who could have that capacity for every living thing on this planet. And that was another stepping stone. So it's what's led me to Ilya, to Matthew, and is what has helped found Gladdening Light. I just wanted to share that with you. It's according to Ilya and Matthew, it's my Thomas Merton Point Vierge, right? And I'll leave you with this thought. What we've been hearing about in terms of divine love and Teilhard and the vision, words fail me. I don't know how to prove this, but this sort of divine love binding the universe together on the quantum level, I don't know how to really justify it. I just know that it's true. I have personal experience that's captivated me and taught me that this is true, and this is our path.